Hi and welcome back to my Devlog series. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday, I sure did, and it's finally Monday and time to get back to working on the game. I haven't really made any progress since last time, I've just been fixing some small bugs, but I did get to play test the game with some of my friends, and I quickly realized that the biggest issue right now is the camera speed, because 90% of the time we died to falling off the screen, so that's really the first thing that I want to work on fixing today. I think I've found a pretty good solution by now, and basically what I did was split the screen into 3 sections, and if there is at least one player in the back section or all the way to the left, then the camera will move pretty slow so this player can catch up with the other ones. If there is no player all the way in the back and at least one player in the middle, then the camera will be moving at a normal speed. If every single player is all the way to the right, then the camera will be moving relatively fast. So a pretty simple solution, wasn't actually that easy to implement because I had to account for players dying in the different zones and update the zones and some different issues, but eventually it worked out fine, and as you can tell here, everything is nice and easy. He moves to the left and the camera starts moving slow, goes back to the middle and camera is moving normal, and then it goes slow again because Pink is stuck in the left, but then he gets shot by the blue guy. So yeah, things are working fine. I felt like this had to be resolved quickly because it really helps make the gameplay much more fun when players don't just die because they fall all the way in the back. It's much more fun when you actually get to play the game. So yeah, things are working fine, and I can now move on to the next issue, which already seems to have appeared right here. Yeah. But like all great developers do, I am going to postpone this issue and go for an evening walk instead, and when I get home I am probably going to call it a night and I'll continue tomorrow. It's Tuesday, my dudes, and today I have to change an old mechanic and make it a bit better, because currently when you walk over a gun or anything that's pick-upable, you'll just instantly pick it up, which is kind of a bad mechanic. I want to make it so you have to press a button to pick it up, which is probably going to break the whole game, because that's usually what happens when you add new features and mess with old code. But I'm gonna venture into it anyway, and wish me luck, boys, because this might be the last thing you see of me. Apparently my old code wasn't actually that bad, and I managed to get everything working relatively well, so when you walk above a gun you can pick it up and you can shoot it and do whatever you want with it and then drop it again. So it's all working fine. I just need to make it look more smooth with the text, because currently it's just kind of popping in and out and it looks kind of bad. But that's really everything I have time for today, and hopefully I'll be able to get to work a bit more tomorrow. It's Thursday, and I didn't really get to do much work on the game yesterday because I was super busy, but today we are doing something a bit more fun. We're going to add a Dynamite item, which is basically going to be one of the boss's attacks, because currently all he can do is teleport behind you and slap you up, and it's a bit boring. So I want to give him a Dynamite item that he can throw and that you will have to throw back at him. And you can kind of see now why I wanted to implement the pick up and throw system, because before you would automatically pick up the dynamite, which is a bit of an issue because sometimes you don't really want to pick up an item that is about to explode. So now you can kind of choose when you want to pick it up and when you want to throw it away, which I think makes for much better mechanics for the game. Now, I'd be lying if I said implementing the dynamite was just a walk in the park, because I quite literally had some huge issues with it, but I eventually figured out what the issue was, and we're now back on track. Everything is now up and running and should be working fine, so I'll give you a little demo of what it looks like. I've temporarily disabled the slapping mechanic, so all he does now is throw C4, or dynamite I mean, and you'll have to drop your gun, pick up the dynamite and throw it back, and do it before it blows you up, because that's not really a good idea. So that's basically how it works. It will do a good chunk of damage if you hit him, so that's kind of why it's worth throwing the dynamite back. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow what I want to add is a shooting mechanic for the boss, so he spawns with a gun with 1 bullet and he'll shoot 1 bullet at you that you will have to dodge, and yeah, it just kind of helps spice up the boss a bit, so he has more than just 2 attacks. He will now have 3 attacks, which I think will be fun. So that's going to be it for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. It's finally Friday, my dudes. It's time to eat some fucking tacos and chill out. But before we do any of that, we have to implement a gun attack for the boss. And also, one thing I want to do before I do that is actually add an outline around the players. The reason I want to do this is because against certain backgrounds, it can be really hard to see the actual player, which is a bit of a problem. So I think adding an outline will fix this issue. I initially thought about doing this using shaders, but then I realized one thing, I don't know shit about shaders. So instead of doing it with shaders, I just basically made another player behind the player that is just completely black on another layer, but a bit bigger. It's a bit of a weird explanation, I don't know how to explain it well, but you can see the result here, and let me know if you like how it looks. I think it looks fine, but if you think it looks dumb, then I might just remove it again. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And now let's get into actually adding the gun. It's me from the future, and I've now implemented the gun attack for the boss, so he can now spawn in with a gun and shoot you, which is, it adds a bit more spice to the boss fight. So you can see he backflips, shoots you in the face, and you're done for. But the question here is, why does he do a backflip? I honestly don't know. Every time he teleports, he does a backflip. If you pay close attention, you don't really need to pay close attention even. Just look at this, he does a backflip. I don't know why. It's a bit weird, because the only thing he does when he teleports is I set his game object to false, and then I set it to true again. So I just disable him and enable him. But that makes him rotate 360 degrees. For some reason, and I just don't understand why this is happening. So if I just move his position and don't deactivate him and activate him again, then he will not do the backflip. So this is really weird, and it's a big issue because it throws him off balance when he teleports in. You can tell, like, instead of just spawning in straight up and aiming at you, he has to do a backflip and he starts swinging around, and things are just weird. So I'm not sure how to fix this, but I think I'm just gonna have to come up with some sort of solution. But I think I'll save that solution for tomorrow, and I'll show you a little example of what the boss fight currently looks like when all of his attacks are enabled and it's kind of like a full fight. Obviously the balancing isn't done yet, some things aren't quite working, but for the most part, this is what it will look like. He still does the backflip though, which again, I'll fix tomorrow, I hope. Yeah, it's actually quite fun, and I think playing with friends would be even more fun. But when I tried the game out with my friends, I couldn't even make it past the first stage because the camera always killed us. So hopefully when I try the game again, it will be in a better state. So yeah, I think I will go eat my tacos now, and I will continue where I left off tomorrow. It's Saturday, it's time to stop with the backflips, and I do have an idea in mind of how I want to go about this, and hopefully it will work out. Basically, I want to spawn a new boss every time he teleports. This sounds like a terrible idea, but believe me, it's not as terrible as it sounds. Just wait, okay? Finally, after fixing 100 bugs and adding 1,000 more bugs to the game, I've finally managed to stop the backflipping. He will no longer backflip. Praise the Lord. This is great. So the cowboy boss is now pretty much like 95% done. I still need to do some fine tuning, some balancing stuff. I don't know how much health I'm going to give him, depending on how many players there are, and so on and so forth. And sometimes he aims at the ground, like you saw there, which is a bit weird, and the C4 throwing might be a bit off sometimes, but for the most part, everything is up and working, and I am pretty satisfied. He's now pretty fun to fight against. I just need to add like a victory screen and some other things, and pretty much the whole map should be done. So I'm very happy with this week's progress. But I've still got one more day, which I'm probably going to spend making the devlog video. But that's probably going to be it for today, and hopefully I'll get something done tomorrow. it's Sunday, and that's really going to be it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I feel like I got a lot of progress done, which is great. But today I'm just gonna edit together this whole devlog video, and that's really it. If you want to see more stuff, then make sure to go join my Discord, which is linked in the description down below, or follow my Twitter, where I try to post things, but I'm really bad at it. And yeah, that's really going to be it. Here's my microphone with a sock as pop filter because I'm a poor boy. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in 1 or 2 weeks. Thank you very much for watching.